Hello there! So the 10th edition Combat Patrol rules for Former 40,000 have dropped today. So what has Combat Patrol got in store for Genestealer Cults? Let's find out. Welcome to Purple Knight Games. So today we're talking Combat Patrols. The indexes have just come out. I would say the rules have come out, but the rules and the missions don't seem to have come out. Let's hope they come out soon. I'm assuming Games Workshop will release them in next coming days. But the indexes are out, and we're going to talk Genestealer Cults. But first of all, just a quick note on what Combat Patrol actually is. This is the mechanism, or the game format in 10th edition for just picking up some models, picking up some rules, and playing 40k. It seems very reminiscent of the old 40k in 40 minutes. It's mostly for beginners and people who don't have time, and for people with not much resources, just pick up a box set, the Combat Patrols, being able to put the models on the table and play against each other. How balanced it is, I don't know, and it probably doesn't matter. It's just there for putting models on the table and playing. It's not really meant for competitive playing, but we're going to jump on in and have a look at what the rules are for Genestealer Cults. So here we are, the Combat Patrol for Genestealer Cults, which is called Hand of the Magus. So you get this almost little narrative to begin with, which I think is pretty cool. It has a bit of a crusade sort of feel about it. It almost feels like this is a bridging of the gap between match play and crusade, which is interesting. So here we are, pouring up from the Nicol Consortium, undermines of Losamar 3. This twisted horde of Genestealer cultists seek to throw off the chains of their imperial oppressors. They are led by the cunning magus, Veridiala, who has forged a ragtag collection of mutants, monsters, and stolen mining equipment into a powerful army of rebellion. The magus warriors are fanatically loyal and would follow her even unto their own destruction. Given their likely eventually fate, this may be most fortunate. That's me being as dramatic as I can be. So, what do we have first of all? So you got a little narrative, which I think is pretty cool. So called Hand of the Magus. And it gives you a list of what you have. This is what you get in the box set. But it gives you a set amount of war gear. So I like the fact they named the main character. So Magus Veridial, and she's equipped with an auto pistol and a Magus stave. Very standard. The neophytes, you have one leader with auto pistol, leader pistol, and power weapon. So you don't get the chainsaw, you give them the power weapon. Fair enough. 5 hybrids, pistols, hybrid firearms, close combat. Fair enough. One with auto pistols, hybrid firearm, close combat weapons, and the cult icon. Now, I thought they had to take their firearms off for the cult icon. That's something I may have to check. One neophyte hybrid is equipped with a heavy stubber and close combat weapon and pistol. One neophyte is equipped with auto pistol, seismic cannon, and close combat weapon. And one neophyte is equipped with auto pistol, Weber, and close combat weapon. So, usually neophytes get the option of 2 special weapons. It's only giving you one, and it's giving you the Weber. So not the best choice. So the point of the 3 of them, I would say it's the worst choice to have these days. Silent cannon and heavy stubber, well, they're pretty good at taking out infantry. Both of them, I quite like both of them. You could argue the seismic cannon's better, but no mining lasers. There's a second squad of neophyte. They're exactly the same looking through this. Yep, exactly the same. So you get your 2 heavy weapons, your seismic cannon, your heavy stubber. You get a icon, which is nice. And you get a Weber, and everything else is just normal cult neophytes. Going down again, so we have the Acolyte hybrids now. Only 5 of them, which is what you get in the box. One Acolyte leader is equipped with leaders, cult weapons, and auto pistol. I mean, why is it not bone sword? It's because you get your bone sword and a lash whip in the actual box set, but lash whips are no longer in the game, so they've just changed to cult leaders' weapons. 2 Acolyte hybrids equipped with auto pistol, cult claws, and knives. So no hand flamers, just auto pistols. 1 Acolyte hybrid is equipped with demolition charges, cult claws, and knives, and 1 is equipped with a heavy mining tools. Only one of them is going to be going around with the heavy mining tool, with strength 10, damage 3 weapons, I really like the heavy mining tools. I think there's an issue with them, which I'll cover in another video, but they're good weaponry, and Acolytes are a strong unit, but I'd prefer another mining tool over demolition charges, but it's fair enough. It's not. It's a good all-round unit for 5 models. 5 aberrants. 1, the Hypermorph is equipped with a Hypermorph tail, and it's heavy improvised weapon. And 4 aberrants equipped with heavy power weapons. Well, that's just standard. You don't get much options. You don't get any options with aberrants, so that's fair enough. And finally, you have the Goliath Rock Grinder. This model is equipped with a clearance incinerator, demolition charge cache, and heavy stubber and drill dozer blade. So you get the incinerator, you don't get traced with a heavy seismic cannon or a heavy mining laser. You are given the incinerator, which is not a bad weapon. And then you get a nice few pictures here of what they are. Cult icon, and that's firearm, the seismic cannon, and these letters all correspond with the pictures here. Which, if you're new to the game, this is great. Shows you exactly what everything is. All laid out, all nicely painted. This is what an army looks like. Looks pretty good, pretty strong. All the war gear corresponds to what the pictures have. Yeah, no, it's for anyone new. And here we are, just going to emphasise what other things are. We're not sure what the heavy. We know what these things are, the heavy power weapons, but we're going to show you what the heavy improvised weapon is. That's a Weber. Heavy stubber. So yeah, it's a good little start. So we've got into some rules now. So they get cult ambush. So brilliant. They do not deep strike. They don't get deep strike. So what we got before with part of cult ambush is all infantry models got the deep strike within 9 inches. They don't get that now. But you know, when you guys die, you do get to come back. I have covered cult ambush in my earlier video reviewing 10th edition indexes. You can go into more detail on that if you want to have a look. But there's a design note here. Each time a unit with this ability is destroyed, it triggers all rules that apply when a unit is destroyed. For example, if a rule awards a player 1 VP each time an enemy unit is destroyed, and a unit with this ability is destroyed, returning using this ability, then subsequently destroyed again, it would award the opponent 2 victory points. Yes, so you can be farmed, basically, is what they're saying. Here, there's combat patrol. So there's a separate rule here. When playing combat patrol battle, in battle round 4 and 5, you cannot set up any units that are in cult ambush on the battlefield. So if you put your tokens down in turn 3, and they cannot be set up in round 4. So you're very limited. So you're not going to get anything in turn 1. Things are going down in turn 1, you get back in turn 2. Or turn 3, depending on which way you look at it. Is that good? This is really limiting that rule. I mean, fair, everything coming on, you know, Acolyte units and 2 Neophyte units are always going to come back on because they are battle line. Battle line rule is in there, yes it is. It's just carbon copy of the cult of the rule. So yeah, it's cult ambush, but it's very limited, probably for balance. So the thing we get enhancements. The Magus is the Warlord, and they get enhancements. They get a default one and an optional one. Default one, so if you want anything choices, you can just pick up an army and play, but you do get a bit of option if you want it. So we have a default enhancement, which is the Sonic Shield. While the bearer is leading a unit, each time a ranged attack is allocated to a model in that unit, add 1 to the saving throw made against that. So it's essentially just adding 1 to your saving throw, a bit like having cover, but without any of the limitations. Not that Cult have that limitation because they don't have power armor, so it's not an issue. But this is Neophytes and Acolytes and Aberrants. No, because they can't lead Aberrants. This is Neophytes and Acolytes all having an armor save of 4, which is pretty good. I like that. I'd take that in a match player. If it was cheap, because it wouldn't be that expensive. Option enhancement is a resonance stave. So this is a melee weapon equipped by the bearer and has the anti-infantry +5 and the devastating wounds ability. So always hitting the +5. Was it wound? Always wound, and then you get 6s get to generate. I don't think that's very good. It's always wounding, isn't it? +5 in inventory, no. So it's... I think you're better off with the first one, personally. Just if you want to make your... cause it's only the bearer, it's not even the unit, it's just the bearer. Just making the makers a little bit more handy in combat. So moving on, we have objectives and stratagems. We'll start with objectives first. So these are secondaries. The default one is Rise Up. So from the second battle round onwards, at the end of your opponent's turn, not your turn, end of your opponent's turn, roll a d6 for each objective marker you control that has one or more neophyte units from your army within range of it. Right, so it's objectives, not the unit. Interesting. Excluding battle shock units, of course. On 1 to 3, you score 1 victory point. On a 4+, you score 3 victory points. It's even guaranteed to get 3 victory points. If you roll badly, you're going to get 1, or maybe 2 a turn. If you have 2 units on there. I suppose there's potential to snake 2 objectives, maybe, with the neophytes. It depends what the rules are on. If you just use core rules, then with coherency, you're going to struggle with that. There's a chance, I suppose, you could snake between 2 objectives and try and have 1 unit claiming multiple victory points, but it's not going to be the easiest thing to do. The secondary objective, Will of the Patriarch. At the end of the battle, you score 15 victory points if your Magus model is within 3 inches of the centre of the board. So keeping your Magus alive for 5 rounds, that's a trick in itself. And having them at the end within 3 inches of the centre of the board. Now, it doesn't say they can be engaged by the looks of it. It's going to be the end of the battle. Magus surviving to the end of the battle is going to be tough. I think I prefer the other one. This is if you want a challenge, I think. So secondaries are not great. It's going to be difficult scoring. I'm assuming it's going to cap at 15 points if the end of the battle is 15 points. So you're looking to score between 2 and 3 points a turn. It's even the second round, so you get four rounds. So you're gonna have to, yeah. So if you're scoring 2 victory points a turn, you're only going to end up with 8, aren't you? So yeah, you're going to need to get some 4+s and keep having neophytes on those objectives to get it. But if they're on objectives, also getting primary. So yeah. So here are the stratagems. Defend the Magus. So this is trying to help you with your secondary, I suppose. So target 1 Magus unit from your army. You should only have 1. And 1 enemy unit within engagement range of the Magus. Until the end of the phase, each time a Genestealer Cult model from your army makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, re-roll hits of 1, hits of 1, hits of wounds. So it's basically if anyone's targeting your Magus, the unit in your army gets to re-roll 1s and 1s to hit and wound. The Acolytes already have that. So it's aimed more at your neophytes or maybe your... is it any unit? 1 Magus unit from the army. So whoever the Magus is, it can be neophytes. I say, if you're leading the acolytes already have that. Lurking Killers. So you target 1 Genestealer Cult inventory until unit from your army, excluding aberrants. You're not allowed to do aberrants. That was selected as target of 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks. So you do this in your strategy first. You do it in your opponent's shooting phase. You've been attacked. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, subtract 1 to hit. Yeah, so it's a bit of a try and keep your unit safe. They get -1 to hit that unit. 1 CP. It's okay. Very usable. It'll come in handy. Return to the Shadows. This is a bit of a Return to the Shadows light compared to what you have in the other one. So you do it in your opponent's moving phase. Just after an enemy model unit ends a normal move, an advanced move, or a fallback move. 1 Genestealer Cult inventory unit from your army that is within 9 inches of that enemy unit. You can make a normal move up to D6 if the unit has your Magus keyword. So if your Magus is leading the unit, you can make a normal move of 6 inches. So it's just maybe to run away from anything trying to attack you, I suppose. So if anything advances too close, you think, oh, I'm going to move away so they can't actually attack me. Fallback, I wonder why you'd move with the fallback. I suppose you could use it to get onto objectives if you could. So that could come in. Actually, Return to the Shadows could be useful. It could to move around a bit more and maybe get your hands on some objectives. So they're not great, but they're not awful either. They're usable. It's not going to actually scare an opponent. The secondaries are doable, but not easy, let's say. So here we are. The Warlord herself, Magus Veridial. Magus Veridial. So it's the stat line of a Magus, so movement 6, toughness 3, save 5+, 4 wounds, 6+ leadership, and 1 objective control. So they do have the deep strike core ability, so they can deep strike them. She has a leader, so she can lead. She has a spiritual leader, so you get feel no pain against psychic attacks as normal. She's lost her psychic ability, so you have a Magus here that has no psychic power other than using her Magus stave. And can be attached to hybrids, or acolyte hybrids or neophyte hybrids. Okay, fair enough. But why is she cast as a psychic? She has no psychic powers other than her melee weapon. I mean, it's obviously done for balancing, but that's very strange. I think it's strange. I'm a psychic, taking the psychic power away from a psychic, maybe limiting the unit to shooting. Especially look at the Space Marines combat patrol, which only has 2 units essentially and 2 characters. Move down here to the hybrids. So only has the range weapons that they are picked. You can't see any mining lasers there. There's no flamers or grenade launchers. So they get caught ambush and they get to deep strike as well. So they do still get to deep strike. It doesn't state everything needs everything infantry-wise deep strikes. Probably so they can control it a bit better. So there is deep striking available. And they've lost their role as well. They cannot farm CP. And interestingly, even though they're armed with a cult icon, because the picture work is on the box, there's no rules for it. So the cult icon, which is, I was like, why have they got their hybrid firearms, even though they've got a cult icon? Because the cult icon does nothing. Now, it is pretty hard for these guys get a chance to respawn. If they're destroyed, also bring them back, 3 a turn, or 3 plus D3 is probably pretty harsh in this size battle. It seems weird how they've worded it all. So yeah, you have a cult icon, but it does nothing in combat patrol. It's a bit annoying. Oh, and just move swiftly on. Yeah, so naturally, the acolyte hybrids, they also don't get any cult icon, but they didn't in the actual war gear part at the beginning. Again, their stats are the same. They got that extra toughness over the neophytes, which is good. They are battle line. Interestingly, you know the battle line keyword. Right. Neophytes is the battle line keyword. Acolyte hybrids do not for this. So when you are doing cult ambush, even though it's got the faction, you're not getting these guys back. Normally you have to roll a 4+ for acolyte hybrids. They've done a lot of tinkering to try it. So I'm guessing when they've playtested these, Genestealer Cults were one of the much stronger combat patrols, partly because there's 32 models. Like I said, Space Marines have 12. So they're having to do a lot of rebalancing and tinkering with the rules. They do get their special rules, so they get to re-roll hits, or for an objective marker they get rolled wounds as well. Over 1, that is, not normally. Demolition charges there, auto pistols, no flamers, and then they get the head of the weapons as well. They're a solid unit. Even 5 of them in this size game are going to be pretty good. So the aberrants. These guys are important for taking out the vehicles. Most vehicles are going to be quite light or transports, so their strength 10, so strength 8 with their power weapons could be quite useful. But even then, most transports have toughness 9 to 10, so even then they're going to struggle. Yeah, if you have a vehicle in your combat patrol, you're going to be doing quite well, which fair cult do. So aberrants, they have no special ability either. So if there's a strength 7 or 8 weapon, they're going to be wounding them on 3s, not on 4s, like they are in the normal game. but they do get their range of attacks. They don't get feel no pain either. So they lost feel no pain. They don't get to deep strike. I didn't notice that. They've lost feel no pain. So yeah, Aberron's got a 5+ save and that's it. So they have 3 wounds, so they're going to have still some durability. But these guys have been scaled back quite a lot. They've had to do some, quite a lot of balancing with Genestealer Cult. Let's go into the Rock Grinder. Let's go into the Rock Grinder. So this again appears to be it's had its ability scaled back. You only get the clearance incinerate, which is not bad. 2d6, automatically hits its torrent, ignores cover, strength 6, -1 AP but damage 1. And then the demolition catch, which is hazardous, but it's blast and assault. So you can advance and shoot the pants out or something. It's only got a 6-inch range, but it's supposed to be a close call thing. It's throwing a bunch of grenades at things, essentially. D6+3 attacks. Only hits a 5+, you don't get any better than that. But strength 12, AP -2 and 2 damage is pretty strong. So its Dozer Blade only gets its normal 6 attacks, strength at 10, AP -2 damage. That's pretty good still. But yeah, it doesn't have its ability where you charge in and do loads of mortal wounds. That's completely gone. This does have its firing deck though, so it can be useful putting units in there. I suppose you could do it if you have your acolytes in there. After you've thrown your demolition charge cash, you can throw a demolition charge from the firing deck. That could be interesting. So that was a quick look through the Combat Patrol data sheets for Genestealer Cult. And yeah, Cult have been stripped back quite heavily. They've lost a lot of special rules. They feel no pains. They've lost Cult Icon. The ambush rules being stripped right back. They don't have automatic deep strike. Some of the units still do have deep strike though. Acolyte's not battle line in this. The rules that are missing go on. They have been stripped right back. Your war gear has been stripped back to the point where you wouldn't normally choose if you're going to go in competitively or go in with a stronger list. Which is interesting, and I think a lot of this is done for balance, because the Genestealer Cult Combat Patrol is very model heavy and was seen as one of the best in terms of price savings. In terms of all the Combat Patrol, you were going to get quite a lot for a good price, and with 32 miniatures in there, it is big. It's a big Combat Patrol, and they've had to strip it right back to try and address balance, I imagine. But going in there with a Magus with no psychic power still feels strange. And having all those stripped back rules, it is very much stripped back Genestealer Cult. It's not a bad thing. I think in your terms, you want the games to not be one-sided, so you're going to have to do some balancing with rules, and I'm sure other Combat Patrols are very similar. They've had things taken off them. That's quite a lot taken off. I mean, especially battle line off Acolytes. That's quite a big one I found. But Combat Patrols, I think, in general, will be a good thing. Just to pick up and play. I have issues of having time to do 40k. So it's the idea of just saying, anyone who has a Combat Patrol game, pick it up in a spare hour, get a game done and dusted, all done, packed up, quick as can be. I think it's a great idea. And it's great for younger players who don't have the money to go out and buy a 1,000 point plus army. It'd be good for them just to get a Combat Patrol and play. And also good for people who are just getting into the game to learn the rules, learn a stripped back rules, a stripped back index, learn the game, and then they can build up from there. They can go with default at first, then they can make their options, then they can go buy more things, paint more things, go further into the hobby. So I think in terms of what Combat Patrols are, they're a good thing. Genestealer Cults have been hit hard with it in terms of scaling back for balancing issues, but because of the sheer number there's going to be, I think they're going to be one of the stronger Combat Patrols as well. So it'll be interesting to see how things go, and it'll be interesting to see once these games start getting played. But again, there's no rules for these yet, so it'll be great to see what the actual rules are and what the missions are like. I imagine they'll be on smaller tables, probably only 3 objectives, one in each deployment, maybe one in the middle. I think that's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing at this stage, but we'll have to see. But yeah, I think Combat Patrol will be good. I think it'll be interesting. I think it's worth a game. Certainly, maybe starting when you're starting out in 10, just to get used to it all. And I think overall, it's a good form of game to have. I think it's a bit more inventive than what they've had in the past. So yeah, not bad at all. And yeah, Genestealer Cult, they've been hit, but you know, it's not the end of the world. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please leave all your comments and your thoughts on Combat Patrol in general and on what's been stripped back from the cult and what you think of the cult Combat Patrol. I think in terms of the miniatures you're getting it's great. But obviously, you're going to be limited if you're going to manufacture your models based upon what the rules are, because you're going to be missing out on some good things, some good stuff there. Let me know what you think. Leave a like if you like this channel, and obviously leave a dislike if you don't. That's fine. I'm happy with either one. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.